All right, so today we're going to be talking about the top 5 neighborhoods in Tuscaloosa County. So first one off the get-go, downtown Tuscaloosa.
Downtown.
Lots of stuff to do down there, lots of nightlife, lots of really good places to eat. If you like live music, they have free concerts every Friday night in the summertime down at Government Plaza. You've got the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater, which really is a great concert venue. You've got the Bama Theater, which also does events and stuff down there.
Yeah, lots of shopping, lots of things to do. If you watch any of our other videos, you know that we're a college town. University of Alabama is right down the road, so there's some spillover between Tuscaloosa and the activities of the campus that kind of converge there in downtown. So lots of good food, shopping, other people, things to do, around.
Yeah, as far as real estate goes, you'll see a big mix right now of a lot of old historic homes. There's actually the original, Tuscaloosa neighborhoods down there. You'll see some of them have been converted over into like office spaces, but there's a few neighborhoods down there in downtown that still are residential. And so if you're looking for an older place, even some, older loft apartments are in the downtown area, but you're starting to see more and more newer developments down there, newer condos, newer houses. They're taking old houses that were basically in bad shape and they're tearing them down and building brand new houses on those same lots. So if you want an older house, in a happening area, downtown Tuscaloosa might be for you, but there's also a lot of new modern home developments down there in that area as well.
Right. And by older, we're talking about historic district, like 100 years old, kind of old houses. So,
second neighborhood, we're going to go down to the Hillcrest area, Highway 69 South. You might also hear it be called. This area of town is booming. It for a lot of years it was kind of the town, kind of the side of town you maybe didn't want to be on because of traffic issues. They had so many people living down there that rush hour, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and then from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. It was just a nightmare getting through that intersection of Highway 69 and Skyland. And so what they did, I guess it's been 2 or 3 years ago now, they actually widened that, added another lane on both sides, and so it's actually, a whole lot easier to get down there now, and you've seen a lot of new developments pop up down there.
And one thing to mention is we also have a junior college here in town, Shelton State Community College, and it is down in that part of town, which I think adds to some of the building going on down there with apartments and things like that, but also probably part of some of the traffic that they fixed.
So Shelton State is a great, community college down there. In fact, a lot of the professors that teach at the university also teach over there at Shelton State, and so we both went to Shelton State, and it's kind of one of the best kept secrets in this area. If you're thinking about moving here for college, you may want to consider going to Shelton State to knock out some of those basic courses for those first 2 years and saving some money. But
we were actually talking about that's what a lot of locals here do. Like you and I did the same thing. Instead of going to Alabama or Stillman, which is another 4-year college we have here in town, knock out some of that stuff at a lower tuition cost at Shelton, and it transfers and saving some money and getting a quality education.
Yeah. We even have some students that go to UA, but they need like one particular class, and they go take that one class over at Shelton. So lots of good things about that community college, but down on that area of town too, we've also got some new schools down there. We've got Big Sandy Elementary School, which is really, really popular. We've got Duncanville Middle School down there. Hillcrest High School has been a athletics powerhouse for several years now. They're competing with the biggest and best high schools in the state of Alabama. And another good thing about living on that side of town is that you do have interstate access very easily. So if going to Birmingham, if going to the Mercedes plant or somewhere, one of those suppliers, is something that's important to you, it's a really good side of town to be on because it's a 6-lane highway all the way up to the interstate, and then from there you can hop on the interstate and go either towards the Mississippi line or go towards Birmingham. Next area of town is Northport. If you drive across the bridge to the north side of the river, you're going to find yourself in Northport, and Northport is where I live.
Phil's actually the Duke of Northport.
yeah. It was a tagline several years ago. I haven't really used it in a long time, but I used to have a billboard over there that said, my name's Phil Duke Jr., so I was the Duke of Northport.
It was great.
Yeah, and so we still laugh about that today. But I live there. Stephen lives there. Our office, and actually where we're shooting this video today, we're in Northport. And, Northport is a great area to live in for people that have families. Lots of really, really good schools in the Northport area. If you're going to go over to Northport, even if you don't live there, you got to go and check out downtown Northport.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool little place. Little boutiques and things like that, flower shops, places to eat. Apparently we like to eat here. We got restaurants in every stinking corner.
Yeah. Whatever, you got to go and check out City Cafe down in downtown Northport. They're only open during the week, and they're only open for breakfast and for lunch, but you can eat a really, really good breakfast for like $3 or $4. I mean, very inexpensive. And then they have Billy's Sports Bar there on the corner, which is a great place to watch the game. If you want to watch an Alabama game, you can watch it outside there on the patio. And they also have a little shuttle there where you can park at Billy's, and their shuttle will take you over to Bryant-Denny Stadium for football games. But Northport is great for people like us that we like, being in a college town, but we kind of like being a little bit removed from it. So living in Northport, you would almost never even know that an Alabama football game was going on a Saturday. You might see a little bit more traffic, not much, but as far as like shopping and restaurants, you're not going to be impacted by that. You're not going to have college kids, for the most part, living next door and partying and keeping you up all night. It's a great place to live. We're 10 or 15 minutes away from campus. So if we want to go down there and go tailgate, go to a game, we're 10 or 15 minutes away. But if we just want to stay home, like we've got young kids, It's hard to get them out for a game. We can stay at our houses in Northport, and you'd never even know that you're really living in a college town. So Northport has been one of the hottest growing areas in Tuscaloosa County for several years, and it's probably going to continue to be that way as the town continues to grow.
For sure. North and west is where we're seeing growth.
Yeah, everything's going north of the river. So another neighborhood north of the river, it's not just Northport over on that side of the river. There actually is a small portion that's on the other side of the river that is considered part of the city of Tuscaloosa. It's actually got Tuscaloosa address, and it's a 35406 zip code. So 35406 zip code is where a lot of the more higher up neighborhoods are in the area.
I would say that'd be the luxury area of town. Let's go with that.
That's right. I mean, there's some luxury pockets in other parts of town too, but for the most part, the 35406 zip code is where the majority of the luxury neighborhoods are in Tuscaloosa. That's where Nick Saban lives, by the way. Roll Tide.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of the coaches who coach for the universities, a lot of the professors, a lot of the doctors who work at the hospital, they just live on that side of town. So you're going to have, nice neighborhoods over there. Really good schools for the most part. Rock Quarry Elementary School is a very desirable school zone to be in. But you also see a lot of people that live in the 35406 zip code don't use the public schools. They send their kids to Tuscaloosa Academy or to Tuscaloosa Christian or to ACA, American Christian Academy. But it's a very, very, convenient part of town. There's not a ton of shopping and restaurants in that zip code, but if you live in that zip code, you're a very close drive to like everything else that Tuscaloosa has to offer.
And one reason I think that area of town may have developed the way it is it's the most convenient to everything else area of town, but it's also convenient to the lake. So it's kind of where the lake is closest to town. I tend to think that's how that kind of came about.
Yeah. There's several lakefront neighborhoods in there. Lake Tuscaloosa is, a very desirable place to live. And so you'll see like a lot of the neighborhoods that popped up on the lake are in that 35406 zip code. The others would be on the Northport side of town as well.
And
but
they're just a little bit further of a drive, but still beautiful homes, beautiful scenery with the lake. Everything's still good. It's just not as close to proximity of the university, the hospitals, and things like that as 35406.
Yep. So one thing to note about the 35406 zip code is if you were going to buy the same house over in Northport, the ones in the 35406 zip code are going to be quite a bit more money. Some of that is just because of that area of town. Some of it's just because living in that zip code is kind of like a status symbol.
Sure.
And so you can get the same house in Northwood Lake for like $200,000 or $300,000 less than what it might be in a neighborhood over there in that zip code. But if that's important to you, and to a lot of people it is, a lot of people, you work hard, you go to college, you work hard in your job, and for some people it is like a status symbol to say, I live in that zip code over there. So just know that you're going to pay a little bit more for the house over there, but, it's a very desirable part of town, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Okay, and the last part of town, we want to talk about kind of the east side of town, so Vance, Brookwood, Cottondale. So back when Mercedes first moved to Tuscaloosa County 20 plus years ago, there were talks that stretch of interstate from Tuscaloosa to Birmingham was going to be the fastest growing, or one of the fastest growing areas in the nation, not just in this area, but in the nation. Then the economy kind of tanked for a little bit, and building kind of stopped. But you're going to see a lot of little neighborhoods scattered around that Vance, Brookwood, Cottondale kind of area. You're typically going to be able to get houses for a little bit better price over there. And if you're working at one of those Mercedes suppliers, or you work in Birmingham, which a lot of people do, a lot of people in Tuscaloosa make the drive over to Birmingham, that side of town might be for you because you've got easy interstate access. There's still really good schools over there, plenty of shopping, and from that Vance, Brookwood, Cottondale area, you're kind of in between Birmingham and Tuscaloosa. So you could even have like one spouse works in Tuscaloosa and one works in Birmingham. Or, if you're working at the Mercedes plant or one of those suppliers, there's times where those people have to put in a lot of hours. And if you're burning up time on the road, that's less time to spend with your family or with your hobbies or sleeping or doing, fun things. So if you work out there on that side of town, you may want to consider Vance, Brookwood, Cottondale, really, really good areas of town. In fact, you've owned some properties out there.
Yeah, I actually just moved away from Cottondale. The reason for that was when we first moved there, my wife was finishing up work and was having to commute to Birmingham for some things she had to do. So it was just an ideal part of town. There's a lot of, I don't want to say rural, a lot of pasture land, a lot of woods, a lot of, out recreational things to do on that side of town. In between Birmingham, you've got Lakeview area, which is beyond Northport, beyond Brookwood, further towards Birmingham. Has a lake out there. It's really nice. A lot of good churches and people out there. You've got something called Tanny Hill, which is an old ironwork state park out there, which is really cool. They used to make, I guess, stuff during the Civil War. I mean, it's super old out there, but a lot of really cool landscape out there, and just for a drive to go there to commute. I mean, it's just really pretty country out there.
Yep. So those are the top 5 areas of town. There's several others. If you have any questions about any of these areas, or if you're looking at somewhere else, we didn't get to cover like Foster's and Ralph and Coker and some of those other neighborhoods that are out there in this video. But if you have any questions, just feel free to click the link below. We'll be glad to hop on a video chat with you and go over any concerns or any questions you might have about any of these neighborhoods in Tuscaloosa.
Sure. Jump on a map, put the comments below, and we will love to answer your questions.